1 year ago today, I uploaded the very first episode of Matt Chats since rebranding my channel, Twitter Age Lockout and Solution. Since then, that video has gained over 123,000 views, making it by far the most successful video on this channel. I'm so grateful that I've been able to help so many people in the comments, in Twitter DMs, and in the video itself. But as it has been a year, some of the information presented in that video is outdated, as there's some basic things that I simply neglected to include in that video since they didn't pertain to my specific situation, and also some things have changed. For starters, if you stumbled across this video because you were locked out of your Twitter account because you changed your birth year, revealing that you weren't at least 13 when you created your account, please go watch my original video first, as I won't be repeating any information said in that one, and it will give you detailed instructions on how to unlock your account. There's a link to it in the description, but you might want to use the timestamp provided in my pinned comment, because it took me 5 whole minutes to get to the dang point. And once you've attempted that, come back to this video if you have any further questions, as I'm going to be addressing some frequently mentioned situations. Or you could just leave a comment or contact me on Twitter. I'm always happy to help, even if I already said the information in the original or this video. First and foremost, in the comments of the original video, and probably this one, if you see a comment or get a reply from anyone who tells you to DM an Instagram account, do not do it. It is a scam. They are trying to make you pay money to get your account back, when the method I offered in the video is completely free. There are hundreds of these bots, maybe, or just really terrible people, and I've tried my hardest to block and remove all of them as they appear, and I'll continue to do so, but if you happen to see one before I get to it, please ignore it. They are not associated with me or Twitter or with anyone who has any shred of human decency. I put a comment on the video warning about them, but I don't know if anyone saw it since it got no upvotes, so please just be very cautious in these comment sections. The most common issue I see people have is that they already submitted their own ID in the third option form before seeing the video. This is not a problem. You can always submit another one. Once yours goes through the system and is verified, you can access the third option form again and submit another ID. Or, if for whatever reason the ID you sent in can't be verified, you can still send in another as many times as you need. Some people worry that submitting too many times will cause your account to be suspended, but in all the cases I've heard, this has never happened. Your account is not at risk of being permanently lost by doing this. The only thing I can think of that might put you at risk of suspension is a photoshopped or edited picture of the ID, and even then I've heard cases where people did photoshop an ID, or just get one off the internet, and it worked, but I'd be very careful attempting this. I think just getting someone else's ID that you know is a much safer option. I've also received questions about censoring certain parts of IDs that contain private information, which you apparently can do as long as the date of birth and full name are still visible, but again, there's no reason to do this, since Twitter deletes the information and the picture of the ID as soon as it goes through the system. None of the information is ever stored, so there's no reason to worry about censoring it. People have also asked me about the email you need to enter on the form. As it turns out, it does not need to be the same email that is connected to your account. It can literally be any email, preferably one you have access to so that you can check when your account is unlocked. Also, if you're submitting the form additional times, you don't need to use a different email every time. Some people have sworn by having to do this, so if you want to, just to be safe, go right ahead, no harm done. But you don't have to use a different email. The ID you submit also doesn't necessarily have to be in English. This method is not exclusive to specific countries or locked behind language barriers. Any ID will work, and like most websites, the form is also available on mobile, so you don't need access to a computer to fill out the form. If you take the picture of the ID on the phone, then just submit it on a phone. No need for more hassle. Another super common question I get is about after you unlock your account. Can you change the month and day of your birth date on your account? Yes, you can. I didn't know if I could when I made the original video, and that's probably the worst take in the original video, saying that I didn't want to do it just to be safe. But like immediately after publishing, I was like, oh, you totally can change the month and day. That's great. But do not change the year. If you change the year, you will be locked out again. But that doesn't mean another person's birth year will always be shown on your account. When you're editing your birthday, you can set it so that the month and day are public, but the year is private so that only you can see it. Then you never have to worry about it again. But I did notice something kind of weird though, now that new Twitter is a thing, because Twitter changed up its layout a few weeks ago. When I went to edit my birthday, it told me that I could only edit it a limited number of times. I don't know what that's about, and in fact, I don't even know how much of this information has been changed because of new Twitter, which is a bit concerning. But as far as I know, all of this still works. The original video still works. This video, everything I say in it should work. And in fact, we might be at a point where Twitter is actually finally doing something about this. Because a few people have actually told me that their accounts were unlocked from choosing the second option. The one that got us into this mess in the first place. GusBus6Volt on Twitter had his account unlocked after a year, and they actually did remove all of his tweets from before he turned 13. And user Samantha M commented on the original video that hers was unlocked from the second option, but as parts of her conditions of appeal, she can't change her birthday at all, including the month and day. Some users have also reported that they selected the third option, submitted their own ID, and still got their accounts unlocked. But all of these cases that I've seen have been in the last few months, so maybe going through this whole process won't be an issue soon, but for now, these cases aren't consistent enough to where you shouldn't keep trying the method in the original video if you get locked out. Even if they are finally accepting your own ID and the second option, the amount of time it takes to unlock accounts in those cases are so varied that they're hardly worth attempting. But yes, hopefully this video has helped to clear up some of the confusion from the original one. If you still have questions, I'm always available to help in the comments of this or the original video, and my DMs are open on Twitter. There will be a link to my Twitter in the description, and it has been so fantastic to just help so many people with this over the last year. I really feel like I'm making a difference in people's lives, you know? And if you're interested in gaming content, mostly from Nintendo, then please check out my other videos. In fact, in the original video I talked about the second part of a Super Mario World race that I did with some of my online friends, and as it turns out, part 3 of that should be up within the next couple of weeks.
Be sure to subscribe to Matt Chat's YouTube channel.
Yeah, subscribe to Matt Chats. I'll get your Twitter account back if you're locked out because of age restrictions.
I'm pretty sure they should know this by now.
This video is sponsored by
Your video is heavily shared across the internet. I mean, you have 119
It's sponsored by
views.
Raid, the bug spray.
So when that's up, there will be a link to that in the description as well. That's all I've got. I hope you all have a wonderful day. This has been Matt Chats, and I will see you in the next one.